We are back. Episode 4, Last of Us.
Season 2.
I do the season 2. Yeah, we're not doing episode 4 of season 1. I do this every week. Our second episode of season 2 of Normal TV Chronicles is live on the channel. It's still season 1. Three of Mad Men, 3 of Shield, and 4 of The Sopranos. So again, if you don't watch any of these shows, I highly recommend all 3 of them. I can understand if The Shield isn't a lot of people's tempo in this community, but I would be surprised if Mad Men wasn't. And if you like crime, Sopranos, if you've never checked it out, check it out. We have a lot of fun doing the show. We do it weekly, so
or you can just watch us talk about all the episodes in like 2 hours and then save yourself all that time.
That's a lot of time saving.
You'll
If
get
you
the
think
gist
about
of
it,
I mean, we're not as
save
good of
people
actors, maybe, but
true. But we're here to talk about The Last of Us. Last episode, filler. This episode, probably not filler. We look real dumb because I never watched the sneak peek.
Oh yeah, I don't watch those.
I don't like trailers like of the thing. Like, let me just watch it. Mark's, ass goes, oh my god, I know what's coming. Let me see it. So he's fully into it
3 times, and I'll figure out what's going to happen in that episode.
But knowing that he looked ahead, like he saw the thing beforehand, and we both, and the question was like, so we're pretty much done with Ellie, and like, yeah, we were wrong.
We're still waiting on that episode.
Totally wrong. There was less. They had more screen time than anybody else. Like no one else was really even featured. So great. We were wrong. But Mark, how are you today? And how was your viewing experience?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought for a little bit I was on the Paramount network or the Paramount one because I saw like the co-star Drake and Josh talking about like some crazy story this is The Last of Us. Oh, never mind. Okay, it's a little weirded out to see Josh Peck starting to get into like these weird drama roles. Like first Oppenheimer, now this. Like what is that all about?
Yeah, didn't see that coming at all. I rewound it. I was like, was that Josh Peck? That was Josh Peck. It clearly was Josh Peck, but we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Another several pieces of him.
How are you? How was your viewing experience?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I finally sat down and watched it last night. I was like, oh, I gotta watch it. The show's coming up.
Better late than never.
Oh, exactly. How was your viewing experience, Cody?
Gosh, I'm telling you, the best member of the podcast by far is Matt. I can't really judge myself and then Mark. A thing on our podcast we do often is Bad Guy of the Week. Peek behind the curtain. Mark's Bad Guy of the Week. A lot of the time. If we kept track. But we're nice, we keep it to the show. Mine was good. I had heavy lifting. You'll find out in like 14 weeks. But mine was 4 episodes of my show, The Sopranos, is what I keep track of. So, and the shitty part was the 2 most exciting weeks. The 2 other shows were by far the most interesting, most exciting. So it sucked that I was just sitting here like, yeah, let's talk about horse racing, baby. Turn into that.
We're going to get to talk about those exciting shows, and then Cody will bring us home with some Sopranos talk.
Hi, oh my. Can't wait to discuss it. Don't care. But we'll talk. But yeah, Last of Us. Basically, as Mark alluded, but basically a flash kind of like what we saw at the end of the last one of like, hey, is this clear? We actually see like some of the troops. Josh Peck's in the back.
Well, it goes back to 2018 is when this first thing happens. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. So 2018, they're all sitting in the back there. Josh Peck and them are all like chumming it up, like having a whole long conversation about joking about something. I don't really remember what, but what's his name?
Jeffrey Wright plays Isaac.
Such a good actor. Glad they got him in this movie, the show. Fantastic.
That's the thing I was arguing myself. Is like, is this a really interesting character, or is it just that they got Jeffrey Wright? So I'm like just captivated by whatever he's doing. I don't know.
Hey, Jeffrey Wright, Josh Peck, we're gonna hire you in. You're both gonna have about the one episode speaking lines. Like, no. But basically, takes through is Jeffrey Wright's character gets out of the convoy to meet with what's that group called, Mark?
The WLF.
Yes. Oh, the Wolf. Okay, so I didn't pick up on it
Because he's a Fedra agent at the beginning, right?
Yeah, he's a Fedra agent. Basically, how they launched like the Wolves, meets with the Wolves, and he takes like one of the young guys out of it with him. It's like a learning mission. But what they don't know is he takes a grenade, pops it into that convoy with the group, and it goes off. And the other guy like pulls his gun on him, like, what the fuck? And basically drops the gun pretty quickly.
He's like, now
okay.
you get to choose.
Yeah, you can go. And they did, but you can choose. So I think it's pretty interesting, basically showing how the militarized the Wolves' overall first reactions to all the basic first scene.
I mean, I thought it was pretty interesting. I mean, I don't really know. Is Isaac a character in the game, I'm assuming? Okay. But yeah, he definitely got a cool introduction. So,
I mean, Isaac is going to be probably he'll probably be the only character in which was voiced by Jeffrey Wright in the game.
Oh,
and then is going to be played by Jeffrey Wright.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean, I think they had an inkling this was going to happen because they made him look exactly like Jeffrey Wright, like in the game. It's like, oh, it's just in case so we can get Jeffrey Wright later to play Isaac.
That's cool.
No, he came out pretty neat in this one. I definitely really liked this cold open.
Yeah, I think it's a great cold open. Again, we do the shitty intro to Last of Us. I hate that. Then we go back to Seattle, day one, basically, of them in Seattle. Deanna and Ellie going through Seattle, looking infamous shot from the game that they recreate very well, like it was going to happen. As soon as I saw the sun beaming through the one spot, I was like, she's getting a guitar and she's going to sing, she's going to do the whole thing. She does it. She does fine. The thing is that I can understand, like, I'm not this kind of person. Like, I know there's people out there that watch the Harry Potter movies and was like, Mom, they forgot this, and where the hell's this character, and this is stupid, and blah, blah. No one can really bitch too much about Last of Us and, like, the recreation of, like, true to form the show is. Like, they don't pull any they make the moments happen. Some a little bit more egregious than in the game. Like, we'll get to that later. It was more egregious in this than the actual scene in the one. But yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's a cool moment of her playing guitar, kind of like a connection with her, like, you know, Joel teaching her guitar and all that sweet thing, and her singing and kind of, hey, by the way, don't know if anybody knows this, Ellie's gay. Ellie likes women. We're gonna drive that point home every chance we get. I think we never really grasped onto it, and I don't think the game really drove it us home as the show really drives it home. Like the unnecessary scenes that just like we're cool with who she likes, but it's just like. But I think that was a really cool moment. What did you guys think of like Dina and Ellie going through Seattle, going through I always like walking through the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Like going through there was a scene, we'll talk about it in my show, but like going back in time, like in the 90s where they open like a cabinet and you see like all the old like stuff that we used to have. So I think that's interesting. But what was your guys' take on Seattle and Ellie and Dina going through it?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's always cool when the show like does like the going through like the cityscapes, and you see how kind of like nature has kind of reclaimed everything. and stuff. And it's really good that it's showing them. I mean, we already know that they're pretty close friends, or maybe more, and they're getting to bond on this journey.
Yeah, friends, you're funny, man.
Yeah.
I think that was the only thing that made kind of the scene a little weird. Because again, by that point in the game, they're just together. Like they're just a couple here. Like I think there is a kind of another element here of like, oh, they haven't like solidified the relationship yet. So like we're still kind
It's
of
post couch, right?
yes, yes it is. It is after that. So but like it
Did
so
they go
they're
couch shopping together?
yeah.
They got a nice sectional.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they did. They got really familiar with
Looks
one.
even better in the in flashlight, like the lighting of flashlight.
That they found an IKEA.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I gave that old buddy a little test drive just to make sure they wanted to buy it. But yeah, the only thing I find kind of funny about it too is I remember this particular part of the game probably took me like an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's just a part where you just like, explore bits of the city. And, we're in and out of here in like 10 minutes.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be like the part where you're trying to play the guitar.
There's a little bit of that. I think there's some buttons.
I think there's bigger moment at the end, but this next scene is like my favorite part of this episode, and it's Jeffrey Wright character Isaac talking. Just one, I could listen to him talk all day long. Like, I don't know if he's ever done audiobooks, but I really wish he would. There's probably an AI function that I can get somebody to just read that Jeffrey Wright, because the way he just inflects and everything is like when he's talking about like, oh man, I wanted these French saucepans. Like I promised myself one day, 30 years of work, a pension, I will be able to afford one of these. And he's just heating up the pan. And you're like, this is like a weird, like making breakfast like speech or whatever. And then turn around and a guy is naked, chained to the wall. He's part of the, Mark, you know it.
Scars or Seraphites.
Scars. And they believe in a woman who's like, good luck, like you can, like this magic fairy in the sky, whatever. And he's heating up that saucepan basically to burn him, to get the information to know where to find them. And I'm not saying that all of them are as resilient, but this one's very resilient. One does not budge at all. Basically burns him. The guy on the outside's like, oh god, like this is rough to watch. All the situations happening. But she's like, he's like, everybody will come to her. Like you'll be, once you die, there's more that bloom up. Like it will continue. And he basically sticks out his hand to like go ahead and burn me again. Well, Isaac just pulls the gun. Shoots him. He's like, all right, this is not going to continue. I think it's a great scene, great monologue, just great talking. Like not like the most like entertaining scene, but like gets a very good glimpse of who Isaac is as a character and like what's going on with the group, the religious group in this thing. So what do you guys overall think?
Yeah, I agree. I think it really kind of shows more about the cult group thing, because like the last episode, they're just kind of like silly walking down the road with some hammers, and they all just get wiped out. But here, just to see this guy and like how much they really believe, and talking about how the wolves are going to come to their side and stuff, but none of us are ever going to betray our beliefs and stuff. And of course, Jeffrey Wright is just amazing in this sequence. I feel bad for Ellie and Dina if they ever get put in a scene where they're going to have to act against him, because it's just unfair. But yeah, this was definitely, I think, probably the best scene of the show.
Huh. Got me thinking about something on there right there. No, I just kind of even comparing this even to the cold open. I think this show has been very good. I think it building the world without really doing a whole lot. In these two scenes, like I feel like we understand who Isaac is as a person, like pretty quickly, like without us really even going into a deep dive. Just this is where he was then, this is who he is now, and this is kind of the mentality that he's been kind of slowly building up as. And then in just a little bit that these two instances where we've seen the Seraphites, we know everything. We know pretty much everything we need to know, at least also about these people. Maybe not everything, but we know a lot about them, and just kind of helps color in that world. Even though it doesn't really feel like there's a ton going on, it's also a bit of a nice touch where we see, that guy like who was scared getting out of the Jeep, like now he's like one of uh Isaac's trusted guys, like who's just like not shaken, just standing there by the door.
Oh, yeah. And I thought it was really cool how they talked about the who betrayed the truce first or whatever, the chicken and the egg thing, just kind of that they've been going at each other for so long. It doesn't even matter who started it anymore. It's just that this is what they're doing now. You know.
Yeah. I think it was a great scene. Then we get kind of the scene where Dina and Ellie are outside looking into the building. They end up like, oh, do we hop through here? Hop through to get through. They end up getting into the building. They get into a room, and like 5-6 bodies are hanging from the ceiling with their guts like opened up. And while they're in there and they're like disgusted by what's happening, wolf agents come flying through the door, and they don't know that this happened either. And I was like, what the it's like, it's just one of the dumb parts of this thing that I just like don't love. Like, oh, now we discover these 6 bodies that are hanging. No one's doing perimeter checks at all at any point.
Well, it shows that the lady called on the walkie-talkie, I guess, before she got killed or whatever, and they're working their way over there now.
Yeah, but how did all of them get in there? Like, they're not doing like light work. Like, they're not just like killing people. They're hanging them up and like putting them on display. Like, finally, when they get the last one up, no, time to get it down. Like the wolf agents. Plus, it's got to be a little bit like the smell and stuff is like Ellie and them react to the smell, so it's like time has passed at some point. Like that's what they at least make it seem. It's not, but like, what the fuck? How is this even possible? But they walk in, they see like the wolf agent hit with all the arrows and stuff like that. So they're not. This group is not using, and they're like, those are the people from the woods. Like that's what they did. So. Overall thoughts on that before we get into the next thing.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. It kind of shows that this other group can actually kind of do some damage, because we're in like the last episode we see that the wolves have like an army, and you're thinking, what's anyone going to do? Especially Ellie and Dina trying to. So, and I said in the last episode, I guess they're probably going to have to team up with this other group and go after them. So I don't know if that's still going to happen, but I love that whenever the show has like a sequence where like somebody has to like go through a window or something, or like in the first season where Joel's like, I can't fit, you go around, and then go open the doors. Like, oh yeah, that's right, this is a video game show. So these are things from the video game that you have to do.
I mean, there were a couple other ones. I think there was like some little like kind of little walkway that was filled with mines you had to get through. Like some reason why like Dina couldn't go up, whatever. Like I do remember that. Like I don't know why you can't just like jump over this fence. Like I mean we can figure it out. Like but no, like this part of me does kind of wish that a little bit we had just done like just straight to Ellie's POV, because like there is something at least to how it is in the game to where it feels like you're just kind of thrown into this to where, oh, I'm here for revenge, but at the same time I'm also walking into like this weird civil war between this militia group and then these kind of like backwoods cultists kind of like, and you kind of get a taste of like who at least these people are from like just the sheer brutality sense. Like I'm kind of glad we at least got that imagery, because like seeing that imagery in the game was like one thing. Seeing it like here again was kind of neat. Does show that, you know, again, Last of Us is willing to just kind of go those lengths.
Then Ellie and Dina tried to escape and try to get out of the situation. They end up getting stopped up at the top because they can't get through the window at the right time. Wolf agent walks in. Ellie ends up attacking him, stabbing in the neck. Other guy comes through to pull the gun on Ellie, and Dina ends up shooting him, and they shoot the window, and they jump out, and they leave. Well, now track's on them. They're basically hunting them down, where they end up crawling through a little opening to get to the like underground, like the train level. I love how Last of Us is doing this. We have small areas that only these tiny females can sneak through at every time. So that's great because, like,
it's a good thing
uh,
Joel's dead because he wouldn't have made it out of that.
yeah, Abby gets through the fence. Joel dies. Tommy dies. These two, small enough hole. Well, we know where they're going. I will say the score is really cool too. In that, like, they do a really good job setting the tension. Also, the flares and like the dark, like the lighting in the scene is really cool because we're gonna have another horde moment. They end up throwing a flare. The fibers move. You hear the first sound, and Dina starts counting the ones you can hear.
I love the counting.
Yeah, it's such a cool moment. Ends up counting, and they are once she gets like 5, and then they just hear it, and then you basically look ahead, and let me tell you, there's more than 5. There's a lot more than 5, but they end up gunshot, and they end up going through one. I don't know why the hell they thought going inside the subway car was like the genius move, but they do jump in there. All the bodies in there, and then they have the entire horde outside, basically hanging on another small spot, tight window to get through, but they're breaking through all the glass and getting through, shooting their way out, gets out through the exit door. It's a pretty sweet, like, overall claustrophobic, like, gross, like, scene when they're in the train car, about to be ripped apart, but they end up getting out of it. And then they end up getting through to the swinging gates part, but they end up getting stuck. And Ellie throws her arm in front of a zombie, and to prevent her, then they end up being able to push through. Medina makes physical eye contact with her arm getting bit. They end up shooting the one, they end up moving the thing, and they're through. Thoughts on the overall horde scene, thoughts of Ellie throwing her arm into the thing, which at this point, Nina does not know that she is immune.
Yeah.
So overall thoughts.
Yeah, but I thought it was a fantastic action sequence, and I don't think there was really any infected in the last episode, so it kind of was good to kind of, you got to throw them in there every episode or two just to remind everybody that's how much of a threat it is. And yeah, it's like I said, going into the train might not have been the best idea, but they didn't really have a whole lot of options, so it slowed them down enough that they were able to escape. So it worked out.
Ended up dropping down to just use the emergency hatch to crawl back out the top of it. So they could have just ran across the top. Just want that on the record. Not here to nitpick, but nitpick.
Oh yeah, and of course Ellie's one of her best defensive moves. Just throw your arm out there, and it's like it works.
Yeah, I was a little curious how they were gonna do this scene in the show, just because from one particular change that they decided to make early on, it was gonna be different. Just because, like, point that out later, just because, like, it does that's something that also may come up later. But like, okay, she just throws her arm out there, and like, all right, we get that. Like, I do kind of like that whenever this show does do infected from this point out, they're just like throwing like a bunch of fucking infected. Like, we're seeing like 100 guys just like go at him from this one, which I think is at least kind of neat. It's a little bit of a fresh air, at least from like something like The Walking Dead, to where it's like, okay, we're just like, all right, we're like at I don't know, like minute 35 in the episode. Let's see Daryl kill a walker. Just remind people that there's zombies out here. And then,
that's the difference between a slow zombie and a fast zombie.
Yeah, well, let's get this shit out of the way. Let's get this shit out of the way. Let's give the makeup effect people something to do, and then, like, now we're gonna go like battle Negan for like the rest of the episode, and we're good. But no, like it makes for some fun sequences, especially whenever that happens. And yeah, we get to have the good old standoff there at the end of what is is Bella Merced's gonna shoot Ellie's face off or not?
Oh yeah, that was tense.
And here comes the moment. It is raining pretty bad outside. They're walking through. Ellie's acting like nothing just fucking happened. No big deal. Like, hey, let's go here. We'll go into this theater. We'll be fine. Let's trap our way in. They end up going in while Dina's like staring at her. Like, well, I'm gonna have to fucking kill this bitch.
I saw you get
this. This fucking sucks. Well, I'm gonna have to kill you. You're acting real fucking normal. You're about to be dead, but whatever. They end up going in. She's moving. They're moving. Like, oh, come on, we gotta move the chair. Which I understand. Dina's still standoffish up there. Bitch, there's still a horde out there right now. Like, regardless, I understand she's gonna turn. If you're in your head, she's turning. She hasn't turned yet. You might want to help her, like, secure, because if you kill her, cool, you're going to be by yourself in the city. You might want to figure that shit out. But she ends up walking around. This may be controversial. Let's talk about the scene, and then we'll talk about my thoughts. And I may be controversial on this, but we'll see. Dina turns the gun on her, basically says, and then Ellie's like, "What the fuck are you doing? No, don't shoot me. Like, I would die for you. Like, but this is not what it is. Like, that's not what it was. I'm immune. I know you've heard that 1,000 times. I am not. Like, I'm not gonna turn. I promise you, everything like that. I'm gonna go lay down on this couch and I'm gonna fall asleep. And when I wake up, if I'm turned, you kill me. But if I'm not, listen to me." And she ends up falling asleep, waking up, not a zombie. And then Dina gets close to her. They both get close to each other. Dina says, "I'm pregnant." Somehow justifies let's fuck. And they get busy. Way more in the show than in the game. They get full raunchy, have their own little menage a trois, woohoo, party on. And then they wake up and have this moment. Before we get into the rest of the scene, on that alone, thoughts.
Yeah, man.
If it's just about the couch sex scene, we can just skip part of that. But I have more on that before.
No, like I said, I think the standoff was another great moment in the episode. I thought that was really tense, and they handled it well. So I mean, and Mark or Cody, if Mark says that he's immune, are you going to let him sleep through the night, or are you just gonna?
No, I'm killing fucking Mark right there. I'm not traveling with Mark anyways. I'm shooting him in the head before we go. Mark's a tough dude. Like, overall, like, this man does does way more than I do. So if this motherfucker gets bit, I just need to take him out I'd actually let him fall asleep, then I'd shoot him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't find out if he turned, because a Mark and Chaka turns.
I was just about to ask.
With as a human, that's infected. Way
I was about to ask that. Are you letting me rearrange the furniture, block the door first, and then?
Yes, 100%. I'm helping you with that. Like, that's fine. I'm going to use your manpower until then, and then
start a fire too while you're at it.
Yeah. You want to cook dinner?
No, yeah, like that. That thing was pretty good. It's definitely a bit. It's definitely a bit different. This is definitely like where we're kind of straying from the show a bit, and I'm kind of. I feel like that's kind of where Cody's like going with for the.
Is it like different in ways you guys can talk about, or are you afraid that it's gonna spoil something upcoming?
Mine's more on the acting side, so I'm not giving too much away.
Okay, I mean, I feel like it's just okay. Like I can understand at least where it goes here, just because I feel like in a weird sense, in this particular, they kind of wrote themselves into a corner just because by choosing not to by not shipping them earlier, you're kind of forced to do it here. Because if you do it I'm just saying, like as a story standpoint, we do it any later, it's gonna feel fucking weird. It's not gonna make a ton of sense.
Well, as we learned in Speed, traumatic events will push people together really quick.
Yeah, it feels rushed. It feels earned in the game, It doesn't feel truly earned in this game. They try to set you up with like a kiss, a tent, and then all of a sudden we're in love. I'm not fully buying it on that one. I think this is by far,
especially since she was just hooking up with Jesse while she was in the hospital.
yeah. And like the pregnant line is still bad, like overall. Like I'm pregnant, okay, but like, why does that get our engines going? I'm not sure. Like, it's like okay, you're pregnant. You could have told me that before we're going on this trip together. But my problem is, I think this is her worst acting scene.
Ellie?
The overall, Ellie's acting scene in this, I think, is bad. I think, like, immune, hear me out, fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, she's just, like, it's weird. It feels forced. It's awkward. Like, and you have, like, a great dramatic performance from Dina happening. Like, it's basically, like, when you're in a scene, just two people, and one is, like, not saying hardly fucking anything at all in her face, and she's crying and she's emotional, and the other one's about to be shot, and she's like, dude, fucking whoa, fucking calm down, man, bro, we're not doing this. Like, it just feels weird and out of place.
I am
like,
an FBI agent.
Yeah, like she's definitely like Keanu Reeves at this point. Like, and that's not a bad thing. He's got his moments, but overall, he's lucky he has a career because he just doesn't say like coherent, like sentences don't make sense in Keanu Reeves unless you're doing it. And like this line was like, "I would die for you," like, but this is what like it doesn't feel like it just feels. It feels like that's how it's written. It doesn't feel like that's how it's supposed to be said, and you don't have that real connection because it also falls apart because they haven't done a really good job of shipping these characters inside the show.
Mm.
I know that they get together because I played the video game. I've spent hours inside the video game. That makes sense, and it feels earned at that point. This, they've done very little job of like setting up the blocks to make me care about this relationship. So when it happens, even Ellie doesn't fucking care about her. Like you feel like this weird forced thing. So that's just my takes. I know it's probably nitpick. I just feel there are a lot of outrage online about the scene. That's a whole nother argument. I'm not going to get political on that one, but Jesus fucking Christ. But this is like one of those is like, everybody's outraged of her being Ellie. And I think a lot of it's misplaced.
Yeah.
This one I'm behind where I can understand where you can be a little frustrated. Because I don't remember who voices her in the game. Outstanding. Like Ellie's outstanding in the game. Like you get that. But also you spend a lot of time with we get 50 minutes with these characters every week.
Yeah.
And those, it may take me 50 minutes to complete one fucking mission to get the guards away from me. Like that's where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else nitpick?
No.
A little bit later. Let's get to the end. I may bring.
All right. Well, they end up fooling around. They end up making out, talking about being pregnant, everything like that.
Ellie's gonna be a dad.
Shows a bunch of things, and that's where the outroar came because she said, "I'm going to be a dad." I'm like, oh, the wokeness, blah blah blah. God, the fuck, oh God.
Where's Nazario? Can he come in? And
I know. Just go stick your stick your head in the well. Like, what does it matter to you? Like, who cares? Like, I bet in common relationships, in like female to female relationships, they probably refer to one. They could refer to the other as a dad. Who cares if they say?
I mean, I looked at it as like she was just making a joke.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was a stupid joke.
Yeah.
Woke Last of Us, welcome to hell. We're in this. She said
like
that.
she's taking this a lot better than she did in the game. She was kind of upset in the game.
Well, that's also my biggest problem. It's just like I understand they just did it, but does that make us like link together forever and like we're gonna be in a relationship now? And is Jesse gonna be okay with this group that we
probably
created?
looking up against what they're up against, they probably don't think they're getting back alive.
I did like the part where like Dina's like explaining like her mom and saying like you like boy like that stuff because I can see that thrust upon everything. And they end up getting a call over the radio. I think the medical.
Yeah, one of the ladies.
Nora's uttered. They're like, they go outside, they look at the scope of City Hall or the city and say, that's the building that we need to get to. And
the way over there, through the explosions.
Yeah, and the explosions happen because the Horde's there, and they know how to clear them, basically, given all of it. And she basically says that, hey, you don't have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Dina, like,
now. this is no, she wants to go with her. And that's Last of Us, episode 4. Day 1. Thoughts overall?
Overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode. Like, it's introduced Isaac and kind of that. Like I said, it kind of really built up those two factions a lot in this episode, and gave Ellie and Dina, I guess, some time to cement their relationship. Maybe too fast, but hey, I mean, we only got 7 episodes this season, so we gotta get moving. Especially if we're gonna get those Abby episodes. I don't know. That might be what season 3 is. It's just all Abby all the time.
One can only hope.
Give everybody a time to cool off before they throw us through.
Yeah, I definitely like this episode. I will say, more than any of the rest, this one had me thinking of, how are we gonna? Is this kind of where we're gonna diverge from the game a little bit here? Because there are a couple of key things that don't really seem to be happening, but I'm assuming they're going to come into play later. Which, some of it's character based. One of them is just kind of like, I feel like just kind of feels a little bit video gamey, which is why it's not happening. This I feel fine giving it away just because this is a revenge story. Because by this point in the game, there are already a couple of people from Abby's group that are already dead.
No, okay.
Like, just by going through there. Like, some by Ellie, some not. But like,
little mini bosses.
Yeah, like, but that feels like a video game thing that the show maybe just decided to just, not worry about later. So like, that's like a little thing. I feel like that can kind of go in there. And then one particular thing with Dina, and kind of wondering if they're going to do it, because there was also another thing we figured out about Dina in that theater that hasn't really seemed to come up yet, and I'm wondering if that's going to happen. Like, so not that I'm like worried at all, but like, I am kind of curious if things are going to be different from here on out.
Do you guys still feel like you have an idea where this season might end?
I am feeling pretty confident. I'm feeling pretty confident about what the ending of this next episode is going to be.
Yeah, because you looked ahead. Don't act like you didn't. You don't get to be Nostradamus here when you know that you've seen the 30 seconds.
If the episode plays out like I think it's going to play out, I feel like I kind of know how the finale is going to end. I think I know where the ending spot is going to be for that one.
Interesting. Write it down on a piece of paper and fold it, and then we'll pull it out in the finale.
I'll make it plain white so that it can just be.
Cody, final thoughts of this episode?
I think it was great. I think it was a great episode. It's weird because we get into these cycles of up, down, up, down. I have no blame for last week's episode. It had to be the way it is. It was a very hard. You can't be in the top gear all season long. You're going to run out of steam, and the big moments won't feel like big moments. This wasn't even a big moment. They choose to use the infected in such the smartest ways. The game was also that way. Like, you have these great character moments, you have these great moments, but overall, like, the tension and the freaky because like all these human moments are happening while there's flipping infected happening. Like, even normal battles, like the religious group and Wolf had this battle between each other while the infected still exists. Like, no one's eliminated, no one's found a cure yet. So it's like the world will never learn from that. So it's just interesting. I had a great time though.
And I think it's really interesting. Like, this might be a season where the whole season like peaked on like the second episode, and then you get all these episodes left afterwards. So this is gonna be curious to see if they do something in these remaining few episodes here that'll come close to that second episode. We'll see.
Yeah, so that's this week. We'll be back for episode 5 next week on Thursday, same time, same channel. We had 1 viewer today. Gracias. That's awesome. Had 2 at some point too. So like, again, we do this because basically I'm choosing these 2 guys to go through TV with because I don't watch television. So that's basically the whole situation. Check us out next week on our next live show. We will see you next time.